When asked the question, what park gives you the most amount of nostalgia, or what is your home park? I'm one of those people who luckily grew up at Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida. The #1 tourist destination on Earth was just down the street from me. When an NFL team wins the Super Bowl, they go to Disney World. Well, I myself have visited the park probably over 300 times. For nearly 15 plus years, I've been consistently visiting Walt Disney World. What this also means is I have ridden every attraction numerous times. I've even ridden the newer rides like Rise of the Resistance enough to memorize the entire ride script. So today, I'm going to be ranking every single ride that is currently operating at the Walt Disney World Resort. And just like the Universal video, I'm going to be summarizing every spot until I get to the top 10. So let's get right into it. It's a fun little carousel that I have tons of memories on, but it's a family ride. This ride hasn't been as good since it moved to Storybook Circus, but it's a classic ride that everybody loves. Same kind of attraction as Dumbo, except I like seeing the now abandoned Dinoland USA from above. Out of the 3 clones in the resort, this one is my favorite, mainly because of the theme and nostalgia factor. While the theming is nice, this is one of my least favorite teacups because it's very hard to spin, and unfortunately they trim the cups once you start to get momentum. A nice ride that gives a great view of Tron, but they have shortened the layout significantly, so it doesn't compare to the original version. Like most people, Goofy's Barnstormer was my first ever roller coaster. Now, while I do miss the original theme with an actual barn, it's still a nostalgic and fun ride. Look, when you take away a ride that literally had a 3-headed troll telling you to disappear, a giant polar bear, and the most terrifying near miss in the world, and you transform it into Elsa singing Let It Go, it's just not as good. While this ride is enjoyable, I'll still never forgive Disney for what they did to Maelstrom. This ride is nice, but in my eyes, it's a pretty cheap ride that isn't one of my favorites. A nice little flat ride that's pretty unique, but it really isn't anything special. While it is a nice coaster, it never is worth the horrifying weight that it always has. And it really isn't even that good of a coaster. While this ride is very fun, it is very short. Compared to some of the other Omnimover rides at Disney, this one is the most underwhelming, but it's still a nice ride. This ride isn't really meant to be a ride, and it can be hit or miss depending on the time you ride it, but it is cool to see all the animals, and it's super long, so that's always fun. Who doesn't love Star Tours? While this kind of simulator isn't anything special in today's world, it's still an absolute blast to ride. Plus, the updated scenes made this ride re-rideable again. While it doesn't do as much as its more intense counterpart, I do enjoy the scenes on this ride much better. Traveling around the Earth with realistic motion is stunning. It's just missing out on the intensity, which I completely understand. While some people may have this ride much higher on their list, I just see this ride as a modern day Mission Space. Same idea, but the only difference is you can control the movement. Now don't get me wrong, the technology is incredible and I love the scoring system, but if you're not a pilot on this ride, it isn't as fun. Still a very solid attraction though. Sure, this boat ride may be annoying to most people, but for me, it's nostalgia the ride. They haven't touched this ride throughout the past 20 years, and its long duration, in my opinion, makes it that much better. And I'm sorry, but I absolutely love the song. Now, before everyone goes insane in the comments, just remember that this is my opinion. While Everest is a great ride with some incredible theming, for a coaster, it really isn't that good. While it is an amazing attraction, Disney has made many other rides that, in my opinion, are much more impressive. Now, if they fixed the Yeti, this ride would go up a few spots. While this ride is never worth the insanely long wait time, it's still a fun attraction. The scenes are the best on any classic dark ride in the resort, especially the scene when you're flying over London. Now, it is way too short and it is in desperate need of an update, but it is still a fun attraction. I love this ride for no reason. When you ride this at dusk with all of the lights surrounding Disney World, it's a beautiful attraction. Plus, Tomorrowland in my eyes is one of the most spectacular lands. The views are incredible, plus at the end it pulls some laterals that are honestly terrifying. A quality shooting dark ride. The mix of interactive 4D effects and jarring movements make this ride one of the best of its kind. Now, even though this ride feels like physical therapy, it's super competitive, which makes me and my friends get back in line numerous times to see who comes out on top. While the video and graphics don't compare to the Green Team, overall, this ride is a blast. The intensity is unlike any other, since every time it begins to spin, I'm always stunned by how intense Disney really made this ride. It's easily the most forceful and intense ride in the resort. While it may not be the most thrilling coaster, it still is super fun. The ride is super smooth and it has some very light moments of airtime. You get some great views on the ride and it's overall a nearly perfect family coaster. A classic boat ride that never gets old. Between the cheesy comedy and loads of animatronics, this ride is a blast. Now, even though this ride is receiving a huge refurb that should be done by early 2022, it's still a blast, and I can't wait to see the finished product. Now, this ride is really short, but the scenes are absolutely astonishing. The projections and lighting effects really make you feel like you are in another world. Plus, the animatronic at the end is the most lifelike alien I think I've ever seen in my life. This ride is absolutely beautiful. Disney took an old concept and made it one of the best dark rides in the park. The animatronics are astonishing and the ride is the perfect length. It truly is one of the hidden gems of the Magic Kingdom. Here's another ride that gives me tons of nostalgia. I love this ride. It's one of the only shooting dark rides I learned all the secrets to, so it's fun to mess with my friends when I get the max score in the middle of the ride. But besides that, the sets are incredible and it's overall a really good shooter. While I used to despise riding Journey into Imagination, it has slowly become one of my personal favorites. Its wacky theming and catchy song One Little Spark make it one of the most enjoyable rides in the park. Make sure you get a ride on it when you go to Epcot. One of the longest rides and one of the most relaxing rides in the entire resort. This easily is one of my personal favorite attractions because of the scenes and the greenhouse tour at the end. It truly is a ride that you do not want to miss out on. A short little river rapids ride that in my eyes is underappreciated. This ride is loaded with scenery and beautiful views, especially of Expedition Everest. This ride can be hit or miss when it comes to getting wet, but other than that, it's still a fun little river rapids ride. This ride is the hidden gem of Epcot. A short little boat ride with a wacky storyline that is surprisingly really good. The theming and scenes on this ride are well done, and the song that plays throughout the ride is super catchy. What can you not love about Test Track? High-speed thrills combined with futuristic theming makes this ride one of the best. While I do prefer the original version of this attraction, I love how it's the fastest ride in the entire resort. What a classic. What isn't there to love about Pirates of the Caribbean? Between the amazing animatronics, beautiful scenes, and of course the smell, this ride is easily one of the best in the park. The latest ride to open at Disney World is Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. While this ride may not compare to some of the other trackless dark rides, it's still a blast with incredible projection and lighting effects. And the scene transformations are astonishing to watch. Another classic ride that is super enjoyable. While it may not have much theming, the views it gives around Tomorrowland and the Magic Kingdom, along with its slow movement, make it one of the best. Plus, you get to go inside Space Mountain, and that's a massive plus. Just missing out of the top 10 is Big Thunder Mountain. This coaster has some of the best rock work in the world. Plus, it's a very long mine train that gives some quality ejector airtime. Definitely one of the best coasters in the resort. Easily one of the best dark rides in the world. The fact that after years of riding this attraction and I still get an eerie vibe from the ride makes it a one-of-a-kind attraction. The scenes and theming are incredible, and the narrator adds so much to it. Plus, the soundtrack is amazing, and it's a long ride. Haunted Mansion really is one of the best. Here's another ride at Disney that always surprises me. The first launch is much more intense than it needs to be, plus the inversions on this ride, depending on where you sit, can either pull some great forces or some good hang time. Plus, who doesn't love listening to Aerosmith on a coaster? Overall, Rock and Roller Coaster is one of the best coasters and one of the best rides in the whole resort. This ride is such a blast. Its jarring movement combined with giant animatronics makes this ride both terrifying and stunning. I mean, every time I come off this ride, I'm always shocked by how intense the movement on it really is. Plus, the Carnotaurus animatronic still scares the living daylights out of me. I wish there were more of these rides in the world because it really is one of the best ride systems out there. In my opinion, Space Mountain is by far the best roller coaster in all of Walt Disney World. Its lighting effects really make me feel like I'm in another world. Plus, this ride gives 4 deadly pops of ejector airtime. I love the seats on this ride mainly because it feels like I'm lying down. Plus, it has an amazing soundtrack and it's actually a pretty long ride. It really is a one-of-a-kind roller coaster. SOARIN is just stunning. The movement matches the projection seamlessly, plus the soundtrack makes this ride that much better. The timing on almost every aspect of this attraction is nearly perfect. I can't say that with many other rides. This is also one of the only rides that I always come off satisfied. The ending to this attraction is beautiful as you soar over Epcot with a firework finale. It really is one of the best. While I used to not be a big fan of this simulator, when the park reopened after the pandemic and I was able to ride it over 15 times, I finally understood the hype. The screen effects with the simulation match perfectly, plus the simulation in some sections can be intense. There's not one simulator besides Flight of Passage that made me believe I went upside down, and there's nothing else like it. I'm in love with this ride. I'm so sad that it could be renovated soon, but for now, I absolutely love this ride with all my heart. Whether it's the soundtrack that plays throughout the entire ride, the smells that immerse you through time, and of course, creating your own future. Honestly, I could put this ride in the number 1 spot, but there are just a few more rides that I enjoy just a little bit more. Here's another ride that I used to not appreciate until Disney announced its overhaul. I have ridden this ride over 15 times throughout the past 6 months, because it really is a perfect attraction. A long ride with lots of drops, catchy songs, and a perfect finale. I am not looking forward to the day this ride closes because I will be losing a part of my childhood. But for now, I will appreciate the time it is left. Do I even need to tell you guys why this is one of the best dark rides? I can't think of one other ride, as of now, that has made me wake up at 4:30 in the morning, driving 1 hour to Walt Disney World, wait an hour before the park opens just to get a virtual queue spot for the ride, and then get to experience the one and only Star Wars Rise of the Resistance. The 17-minute attraction that I can never get enough of. From the first pre-show all the way to the walking off your escape pod, this ride immerses you with top-of-the-line animatronics, effects, and thrill. I mean, what other trackless dark ride has a drop track into a simulator section? Nothing can be better than this one astonishing dark ride, except one other ride just a few steps away. All I can say for Tower of Terror is, what is this ride? It easily has the strongest airtime you can find on a drop tower. Anytime I ride the Tower of Terror, I'm always laughing throughout the whole ride because of how screwed up the airtime is. I have grown to appreciate this ride a lot more throughout the past couple of months, and after all my rides, I have decided that this is, in my opinion, the best ride in all of Walt Disney World. So, there we have it. Let me know what you guys think of this list in the comment section down below, and let me know some of your personal favorite rides in Walt Disney World. If you guys haven't yet, it would mean the world to me if you guys subscribed and dropped a like on this video. Also, don't forget to buy your very own theme park hunting merch in the description down below, or click the link on the channel banner. And check out my podcast, On the Hunt. Also, if you need any non-copyrighted footage for your videos, go check out and subscribe to my second channel, Theme Park Hunting Productions. As always, guys, this is Hunter from Theme Park Hunting. I'll see you guys later, and follow the thrill.